We would use the loam on site, and that depends on what is typically per tree. It'll be about a yard to get that twice the size, the hole.
Yep.
If we dig out decent stuff, then we won't do that. I mean, I'm assuming.
You won't dig out decent stuff.
Yeah, okay. So it would be about a yard per
Where do we
tree.
get 4 inches, 5 inches of loam?
Well, on this
Yeah.
side, on
What's
this
that?
side, you might,
Yeah, on this side of the
on the
parking
field
lot.
side, you might
I'm
find
not sure.
some, but
Yeah.
But
around the
anything
building,
around-
it's.
Yeah, anything that's been,
Anything around there, it's 3 to 4 inches.
really, okay.
Well, the loom pile is not here at this building. It's on the complex, just right down the road. You don't have any problem with retrieving that?
No, we wouldn't have
under
any
the-
problem with
Under
that.
this price?
Yep.
Did you say a yard per, could you clarify that?
Typically about a yard per
Each item on
per
there?
each tree. The shrub beds would be different. Obviously, we're digging out a lot less of a hole. And that includes, of course, amending with fertilizer and things like that.
What fertilizer do you use?
We typically use the Roots One Step. It's a small packet. It contains mycorrhizae. It's a pretty neutral as far as a fertilizer. It's not going to give it a big growth kick.
Yeah.
Which
Do you know the analysis?
off the top of my head, I don't. I think it's a 244. It's a small.
244.
Yeah, it's
Is it like timed release?
It's a granular, and it'll last the summer. The more important part of it is the mycorrhizae, and it also has off the top of my head, I'm drawing a blank. The water absorbing stuff.
We have moments like that.
Yeah, I'm having a moment like that. No,
Except you're younger.
it's the
No,
stuff
it's
that
better
absorbs
point
it,
that
actually
out.
expands, and then as it sucks the water out, it's more like a
out.
jelly type of stuff.
Yeah. Use
I
it
wish
on
I could remember.
raspberries, very,
Did
where
we
there's
cover
fine
the-
roots.
Right.
You put that on, yeah.
Correct. It includes that. That's what we like about it.
Yeah. You put lime on
We
too?
just talked about.
No,
Use
not
lime.
typically.
With this guy?
Okay. And when you plant, do you take the burlap, is it come in burlap,
No, you didn't ask about
ball and
that.
burlap? Or is
Ball
it
and
coming
burlap,
yep.
wired
That was one.
or
It
anything?
will have a wire basket. Typically, when we dig the hole,
Yeah,
we kick the wire basket to the bottom of the hole,
Yeah.
so it's beneath that root zone,
Yeah.
the 12 inches of root zone,
yep.
and then peel the burlap down as well, making sure there's no air pockets. It's all flat and settled down.
Yeah, and then it doesn't wick the moisture out.
Correct. Right. As long as the burlap's down below
Yep.
soil line, then we don't have that problem.
And the mulch, you're mulching each one, but how much?
Typically 3 inches.
And diameter?
At least the ball size, usually a little bit more.
Okay.
So I would say, on a 2.5 caliber tree, you'll probably get like a 4-foot ring, typically.
And what mulch is it? Bark mulch? What kind of mulch?
It's I'm not sure what he spec'd here, but our regular is a pine hemlock
Got a
mix.
bark
It says
mulch
bark.
here.
Yeah, it's a
Bark.
pine hemlock,
Yeah.
bark mulch,
Hemlock,
correct.
right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as far as your company is concerned, would you be the one that would be on site with your workers, or would there be a supervisor on site at all times?
There's a supervisor on site at all times. On a project like this, I would come out and probably lay it out for them, take them through, show them the loam pile, things like that, give them the expectations, and then check in with them as needed. But there'll be a foreman on site at all times.
Timing wise, you guys are a big company. If we wanted to have this done in, say, starting the 1st of May, that's when we're supposed to have the loam all screened by. Would you guys be able to timing wise schedule us?
Month of May?
Definitely the month of May, the beginning of May, I wouldn't think would be a problem. We definitely have the manpower to do it. I can slide some things around if that was the window you wanted.
Anybody else?
And I'm sure you've been in business long enough and probably has submitted to as many inquiries as any other company, but you'd be having to operate under the rules and regulations of the county with your workers when they're here, as far as harassment,
Oh, absolutely.
interactions with the public.
Very
so-
sensitive about things like that. Being such a big company, we have strict policies on language, harassment. Safety is a big priority also.
Smoking.
Smoking, there will be absolutely no smoking as required per site. Yep, not a problem. We're definitely used to things like that and respect that.
I'm sure you have insurance.
Yes, we have lots of insurance.
Outside of the fertilizer, no other chemicals are used, right?
No.
Don't need to.
No.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
All set? All right, thank you
Thank
very
you for
much.
coming
Thank
in.
you.
We should have been asking these guys. And you're willing to donate 10% to the nonprofit if you get the job?
Maybe the one who submitted 44,000.
Yeah.
The
I
water
think they
thing
would.
is huge.
Yeah, that is a big deal.
But that tipped me in their favor somehow.
How you doing?
Excuse me.
Should be there twice.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Welcome.
Thanks. I thought I was interviewing with one.
Surprise!
Here we are.
You're on
Video
camera.
one.
No, we're all friendly.
We're all friendly.
Or most of them.
Yeah.
I always better point that out.
Okay, this is Cameron's bid specifications. And Mr. Albee, they've got the itemized
Yeah, that's
list
why.
of plant materials and the
I'm not gonna ask
cost.
that question. It's all
Okay.
set.
Is that good?
Yes.
Yeah, there's in my mind, a question of whether or not there might be alterations during the process, and not having a price per unit makes it more difficult to.
That was my understanding, there was
track
gonna be some alteration, so I thought that was important.
We've changed the questions around a little bit, but you've seen the plan. Do you have any alternatives to that plan? Are you satisfied with that plan, or
costs.
what do you think about it? The plant material that was listed and so forth.
The plant material listed isn't actually, hi, my name's Darin Guyer. I work at Cameron's. I've been there for about 16 years, and I'm the estimator. My loyal sidekick here is Scott Cameron. He's actually one of the owners. But because I did the quoting and the numbers, and I'm more familiar with the plans, I usually do the speaking.
Okay.
He's here for any other questions that come up that I need a hand with. He would also be the person that would do the planting. So we would have an owner on site, not a foreman. And that's how it works here. We have two owners that work on the road, Scott and his brother Steven, so you'd actually have a representative from Cameron's that is an owner, and not just a foreman. I
And
think
Cameron's
that's
is more
important.
known for seeding, right? You do a lot of seeding.
We do a lot of seeding, we do a lot of sod, but we've done a lot of big commercial landscape
Okay.
projects. The biggest of which would probably be Gillette Stadium, when it opened. I spent 2 years at Gillette Stadium, for the
Okay.
Patriots,
Yep.
working for them right
Yep.
out of college.
Okay.
We do a lot of
Sorry.
big commercial.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's fine. The actual plant list isn't all that bad. From looking at it, the plant selection's pretty hardy stuff. Not a lot of concerns with. Pagoda dogwoods are usually something that are hard to locate. But fortunately, in this situation, the size specified is something that's readily available. And it's a nice tree. The Cornus moss is another one that's sometimes tough to find, but again, with the size, I didn't have any problems getting prices on that. The only tree that we think is a little suspect would be the Tupelo. Not huge fans of Tupelo,
This far north, yeah.
this far north.
Why?
Yeah.
Winter hardiness.
Winter hardiness is a concern, zone hardiness.
I think it's more of a zone 5 plant.
So it'll look
I
nice
think
the first
Osceola is
year.
a zone 4 plant.
Everything would look nice the first year. We'd prefer to see Tupelo below the line, borderline down in Mass, southern New Hampshire, something we're more comfortable with. Once you start getting above Wolfboro with some of these things, it's a little,
What would you substitute for that? Which have similar,
Leaf design.
Linden?
what? A linden?
little leaf linden.
Little leaf linden?
Yep. Ash, maybe a red maple.
We already have red
Yeah,
maple.
I like little leaf lindens myself.
Lindens are great, we've had great success with them.
Yep.
Good shade trees.
Yeah, nice shape to them.
Yep,
Nice trees.
yep.
Very hardy for industrial type of landscape.
Did they run around the same price?
Yes.
Or cheaper?
that size.
Or cheaper?
Um,
Two
Well, I
inch.
didn't quote it, but it
No, I
wouldn't be
know.
any more
Okay.
than what the price that we gave you. The Canadian hemlock, the concern with that, if you're familiar with that, is the woolly adelgid,
Yep.
which has been moving up further and further north, and we keep having these mild winters. And they can be a real expense if that actually comes into play, because the woolly adelgid, if it comes in, the plants have to be treated yearly. So then you're going to have to pay an arborist to inject them
Mm-hmm.
with a systemic. So the the woolly adelgid feeds on and the systemic kills it. So that could be very expensive.
Is arborvitae a better substitute for hemlock?
Arborvitae, or if it's you're looking for something larger, a white pine.
I know that guy.
Well, wait, well, I'm sorry, I missed that. You might suggest a white pine? Would you?
If it's shadier. There's not much that will accept shade. That's why the hemlock was such a fantastic tree for us over the years, and now because of the woolly adelgid, we have to be careful with it. You're still pretty far north. They've got it in Salem, they've got it in Portsmouth, but it's creeping.
Do you have an arborist on staff?
No, we're not an arborist.
I don't know that the sighting of any of the hemlocks is in the shade. Or was it
No,
the
it's
creation of
on
shade?
that side.
I'd have to look to see where I've got
Yeah.
it colored. They look like they're
I
out
think
in
it's
the
on the
open.
south side.
And if it's a full sun, you're always open up to fir trees
Yeah.
or spruce trees,
Yeah.
if you have a preference for that, but there's really no
No, we
pest.
don't want any fir trees.
Firs?
No, blueberries. We have blueberries on this site,
Oh.
about 1,200. And fir trees are an alternate host for the witch's broom.
Oh,
Like a national
Blueberries,
security meeting
yeah.
with this guy, isn't it?
I was wondering what we were getting to. I know cedar apple rust.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know where we were going with firs. Other than that, the list is pretty strong.
So on the extras, if you will, is the bark mulch and the loam, which we'd supply, not included in the 16,000?
Correct.
Okay, so it's in addition to the 16,000 plant cost, there'd be the bark mulch cost and it says installed by others. We'll just give you this setup. We're gonna have 1,000 yards of loam screen on premise.
The 1st of May.
You guys are planting the trees. I don't understand how it's gonna be installed by others.
Okay. The reason that's put in there is because we do a lot of commercial work at Walmarts, Home Depots, et cetera, and then the site people sometimes think we're gonna fill those islands up with loam, which we aren't gonna do. They're gonna be all loam, then we're gonna go in and plant them. So we put that in for our protection, so that we're not responsible for installing 1,000 yards of loam. In this situation, this $30 a cubic yard was us to supply the loam and install it. And what we're gonna do when we supply loam is we're gonna dig a tree pit and we're gonna install the loam around that tree ourselves.
Right.
So
So if we provide the loam, what's it
if
cost?
you provide the loam,
About 15 yards along to plant that tree.
we don't charge you anything. If you're providing us the loam, we're gonna put it in the holes at no charge.
Okay.
We're gonna bring 5 yards of compost with us and mix with the loam.
Right.
Organic compost.
So that, you can put a line through that if you're supplying the loam.
Okay.
There is no charge.
Have you toured our complex here?
We've seeded this whole thing for Andrews, and we planted it
Yeah.
last fall. Scott was actually here, so the trees that are out there, the
The rain
cedar.
gardens.
Have you seen the loom pile? Do you know where it is?
I have not seen the loam pile.
Okay, well, it's just a little bit
Just
further
out
down
back
the
one of the
complex.
buildings.
It's on site, just a little bit further away. We don't have any problem
You'd have to
transporting
haul it in.
You'd have-
No,
you'd
we've
have
got
to haul it.
trucks.
There's a whole dump truck on site there.
And when you say no maintenance, what does that mean?
We don't mow lawns.
Oh, you don't maintain?
Right, we
Yes,
don't
it's
do
not
that.
Okay, it's
Loam, I
not that
knew you
we're not
meant-
maintaining it.
We hope that you do.
You're
Yeah.
gonna maintain it for us.
No.
That's how I
No,
read this.
you're thinking low maintenance. I meant to tell you that a minute ago. It's
Oh.
not. So in
Because I'm all
terms
over
of,
no maintenance plants. You
Yeah.
can bring it to my house any day.
So that includes
So-
watering, you don't water.
We do the initial watering, and then that's when you get into a little gray area. We have to provide a 1-year warranty. If there's a drought and you're not watering the plants, we're gonna take our water truck up here and water them for no charge because it protects our interests. But we don't want to because it costs us money, but we will, to help keep the plant material alive. But are we gonna be up here every week watering the plants? Only if it's a high-stress period.
Aside from the watering, what would you expect your visitations would be during the year? After you've planted?
We wouldn't probably have to do any.
Okay.
That's what the no maintenance is.
what do you?
No, you would just check, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I thought you.
You wouldn't be just checking on it from time to time to see how it was doing or anything?
Well, the owners on their way by will always swing in and check, but it's not gonna be a scheduled visit, or we're gonna have 3 guys here to do maintenance because we don't do maintenance. We do a lot of work up in North Conway, we did a lot of work last year in Berlin, and on the way by, the owners always have to swing in to see how things are looking. And if there's problems, they'll tell me, and I can forward it to you folks if it's something that needs to be addressed. If it's something that's on us, then it's something we have to address, then we'll take care of it.
Now, when you say, go ahead, you're next,
No,
go ahead.
maintaining this from our standpoint would be what in healthy, how much water? Or what situation?
1 inch of rainfall a week eliminates the need to water. If you're getting less than 1 inch of rainfall per week, a tree requires 5 to 10 gallons, 1 time per week. And a shrub will take 3 to 5 gallons of water, 1 time per week. The trees are all mulch that holds moisture in. They don't need to be watered daily. They don't need to be watered 2 or 3 times a week. Once a week during a period of drought is usually sufficient to maintain the health of the plant material.
And you said subject to nursery stock availability.
Always. Yep.
You're buying in all this stuff, right?
Yes, sir.
And can I ask where it's coming from? Is it coming from Pennsylvania or Canada? Or
Connecticut North.
Connecticut North?
Yes.
Okay. But,
The subject
so you
nursery-
don't know whether it's available or not, the list that we provided you?
I have quotes on every single plant from suppliers when I bid this to you.
Okay.
Whether or not that plant material will still be available whenever you award the contract, and if we get it from you folks,
How about Wednesday, if we award the contract Wednesday?
then I'd probably know by Thursday.
Okay.
It's just for my protection. If you guys have your heart set on you have to have this cornice moss, and now I can't find it. I can't go find it in New York State and pay more than what I got to install it. I guess it technically would still be available somewhere in the world or the country, but for this price, the way this is set up.
So the pine bark mulch is also an additional cost?
Yes. I didn't do a takeoff. My understanding was that this was a preliminary list. Give us some unit pricing so we can see where we are as far as our budget goes, but it's going to be some additional plant material going in. And there could be changes. So I didn't do a complete takeoff on bark mulch, because on the print looks like plants all over the place.
Yeah.
But given the 90 trees that are in your bid, what would you estimate the amount of bark mulch to be?
And the other question I had, or the unknown to me, was the depth requirement for the bark mulch. There's no detail sheet that was provided to me. The detail sheet would be a picture of a tree and show the depth of the mulch.
3 to 4 inches. Is that common?
3 or 4, not 3 to 4. Well, it's a
It's
difference.
true,
It's
it's
a big
not-
difference, and
no,
that
it's-
was another reason that I put a unit price on here, because I didn't have all the information. How many?
90,
90 trees?
yeah.
Okay. And then you want to do 3 or 4 inches?
3 inches. And that is how big around the tree? You're just talking about where the tree is,
It's
right?
usually like a 6-foot circumference around the tree.
It's going to be right around 20 yards.
So
That's
an
quick.
additional $600, $500 to $600, right?
Yes.
So that's our cost, to mulch around each tree.
That's us to supply the mulch and mulch everything that we plant.
So it would be in addition to the 16,100.
Say it again?
That would be in addition to the $16,115.
Another
Yeah.
600.
Right, right.
Do you guys stake the trees also?
Yep. The trees that are planted around the little rain gardens are ours from
Oh,
last
yeah,
year, and
that's
they're all
right.
staked. Yep.
Sorry.
You can see them. No, that's fine. You can take a ride off. We just drove around. They all look alive and they all look straight, so I was happy. Scott was happy. Scott planted them.
And how long would this job take to do? Do you
This job,
estimate?
a day.
A day?
What?
A day?
All 90 trees? in
How
a
many
day?
guys you got?
Right, 2 days.
Yeah,
2 days.
relax.
2 days,
Take a
max.
couple of
2 days maximum.
How many guys?
Depends on how many guys I send.
It's 6 or 7 guys.
Do you want a tree spade?
Do we own a tree spade?
Yeah.
We own 2. We don't use them.
Just sit, collect rust.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, we got a small one for the Bobcat. We got a big one. We haven't dug trees in years. We have them. Need one?
No.
Okay.
The one question I would have is, when we excavate the holes for the trees, we have the spoil or gravel that comes
Yep.
out of those holes. Would you folks have a place for me to dump that on site?
This guy right here will find you a place.
Okay.
tough to haul it way back to Farmington.
Right.
Well, we just paid for it too.
We only have probably, what'd you say, 4 inches of topsoil, and the rest of it is fill.
Right, in the inner part of the circle.
Sure.
I took some soil samples here about a week and a half ago and dug down. We only got probably, 3 to 4 inches of loam underneath the grass you guys hydroseeded.
That's typical.
So
Like
Sandy,
C6, but.
Sandy, you're gonna wanna get a credit from the farm for those yards.
Let's not talk
filled
about
that we've already, that
in-house
we've had to
stuff.
pay for, that now Will's gonna get for free.
Anybody else got any other questions?
If we had I do the plowing around here and I have a problem with the location of some of these trees. If you were awarded the bid, would we be able to, talk about that and possibly either relocate them and not plant them where it says on there?
No, they have to go where it's shown on the plans. Absolutely, we would come up and put the flags in for dig safe by law, and you could see where all the trees were going, and then you could say, boy, I don't know what that is, but I don't want that there. You can pick up the flags and physically move it, and then Scott would meet with you on site. We'd actually coordinate with you if you need to be involved. We could coordinate with you, you could meet us that first morning,
Yep.
and you could say, yep, let's move these 3 over here, and these 4 over here, and this one here, and you guys have fun. And we'll just take care of it from there.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Scheduling, I don't know if that was asked yet. If we're looking at time frame in May, would that be a problem with you guys' company to be able to look at doing this job in sometime in May?
Maybe the first week.
Or the first part of May?
As soon as we get the soil screened, which is supposed to be done by the 1st of May. The bids are out, we've already had some calls on it.
Yeah.
So you could start first or second week of May.
Second week of May.
We want it done by 1st of June.
Well, it's only gonna
Well,
take
2 days.
What's that?
If they say 2 days, not an issue.
Pick a day.
Yep.
Well, if they do it after the first week of June, there might be an issue.
I thought you wanted it done in May, though.
Yeah. I think the benefit to them and the benefit to us is to get the plants in as early as we can.
If you award us the contract, we can get it done in May. I can't tell you when specifically. May is my busiest month, I won't lie to you.
I'm sure.
But there is no issue with us getting this job of this size done in the month of May. None.
Okay. Any further questions?
Did you, I might have missed it, did you tell us how many times you come and check on the plants and the trees that you've done within the year period?
We don't have a set schedule to run around and check things. I'm assuming that throughout the summer, they would probably get checked 4 or 5 times. And if there's just a drought, I'm just gonna schedule my people up. Well, can I ask, is anybody gonna water this plant material? There's no irrigation system.
No.
Do you have anybody on the staff for maintenance that's gonna do any watering?
It's something we're looking at, but.
Yeah, we're discussing it,
Okay.
leaving that open for.
However, that discussion
But
follows.
if you tell me you're gonna come and water them weekly, then I'm gonna say, no, we're all set.
I have no intention of watering them weekly. I'm gonna water them in drought periods when things have to be watered.
Okay.
As far as checking on the plant material, I'm guessing they would probably get checked every 3 weeks. We would be going through. But like I said, I don't have a set schedule. I don't just cut one of the owners loose and say, let's drive around and look at the job.
Sporadically.
Yep, on our way back through or on our way to a job site, and we plant up on, we've got some jobs up in Berlin, up in North Conway.
And hours-wise, do you have a problem with starting after 8 and staying late, or just because
Just
of the
because it's a
residents?
nursing home.
We can't start till 8.
Well,
Equipment.
equipment.
You can hand dig, but noise.
No, he can't hand dig. I know from experience.
No, that's not.
I've never seen anybody load up two machines to go to somebody's house to plant a crab apple, but my guys, they do it. We don't do much hand digging. If that's our hours, then we'll do that. We'll start at 8, and we can work as late as we want. Okay. We're usually early riser, we're usually on site at 7, with everything tearing and going, but
Which is fine, just
not for this
probably
job.
don't want backhoes pounding into the ground at 7 o'clock in the morning.
We would just be on site at 8.
Okay.
It's not a
Okay.
long ride home, which is good, it's close.
Any further questions? Last chance? If not, thank you very much for
All right.
Thank
coming
you.
in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll be able to let you know quickly.
For Wednesday, right?
Wednesday?
Are you gonna
If
award it
we
this
can agree
Wednesday?
on one of these companies, yeah. If you want more to come in, we can do that too.
Thank you.
Thank you, have a great day.
You too.
See, Davis used to work on one of those dysfunctional, this group will make a decision exactly.
I already made my decision.
So that- Plus, this last guy's really good, but he's gonna have to be
Really good.
about $6,000 good, no,
Nobody- yeah.
$8,000 good.
We're 10 minutes late and nobody's here.
Oh, that's bad news.
Sanbornville?
It's a long ride up here.
That's all right.
Hi,
Hi there.
welcome. Relax.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Cory Howe, and it's how to landscape, land
Lawn care
care.
and landscape.
and land- Okay, landscaping. This is a panel of gardeners. They asked all these hard questions that everybody else had to leave early because they couldn't answer them, so we're hoping that you have all good questions. Tell us a little bit about your company, other than what you said, that you're a small family operation. Any other experiences, other size landscaping jobs you've done?
I did go to UNH for, landscape operations. Always been interested in it. Been doing it for a long time.
How long is a long time?
Must be about 14, 15 years now.
Have you done a job similar to this in scope?
Number of plants, no, because most of our planting is residential.
And your how-to, so there must be one more how. How many people work with you on a job like this?
There's a few other hows actually. I think the how-to was probably me and my brother, but it's me, my brother, my father, my wife, and 3 seasons, a couple other people.
So how many people would you have on this job, do you think?
Hopefully 4 each day.
And
How
how
many
long-
days?
Yeah, go ahead.
Depending on how many people I can devote to it each day, it'll be a week.
When you look at our plan, what do you think of it? I mean, you've seen the home.
Yeah, I'm just driving around it. Yeah. Pretty basic. Nothing.
I would have thought one thing you would have said was that you didn't like the angles. You would have preferred the curves in the lawn and around the building for ease of mowing and so forth.
I'm not mowing it.
You're not mowing it. I know. Not a fair question.
So you buy your plant product in?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You have to
So you
be.
don't have a nursery of your own?
No.
Could you divulge where you buy your plants from? Is it New Hampshire plants?
Oh, yeah.
Pennsylvania or
Yeah.
Canada?
Well, I can't assure you where all of them are dug from.
Okay.
My wholesaler provided that they have everything would come from Northern if they have it all
Okay.
at the time.
Yep. Okay. When you plant, do you take the burlap off and the wire baskets and that kind of stuff off your plants, or do you leave them in the home?
I take off everything that we can without disturbing the root ball. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
What are your guarantees? I see plant
It's
material for a
one-
calendar year.
One calendar year, provided that
I
it's-
guess I should have said, what do you consider proper maintenance?
while, I mean, they're gonna need, you know, when stuff's transplanted,